First computer was actually built in 1883 by Charles Babbage. That was a pretty more hardware, and software was very less, and the logical connections was there, and it was very slow that time. But one thing was very clear, that the computer can understand thing. That means your instruction. Computers can do the mathematical operations. Right now, if you are talking about it, we can do a lot of things like VFX, gaming, programming, making clouds, machine learning, AI, a lot. But what is the initial stage though, which gives an opportunity to communicate with the computers? That is language. So how and who develop these languages? Especially when we are talking about our languages, which has a sense. Every sentence has a meaning. Every word has its own sense, right? So what is a language? So scientists and developer actually gives a proper meaning of definitions to every word or keywords into the computer language. If you are taking an example of any language like C, you will find the computer is the smartest machine. So you can build whatever you want right now, you can build over there. But a lot of maths is there, and logical thinking, reasoning, everything you will find over there. So how you can talk to the computer? First thing is the keywords. Keywords are very specific for every language. So you should have to learn the keywords so that you can understand the meaning of the keyword, and computer can understand your code. So computer doesn't have a sense. In Mr. Box, we can say that. Mr. Box always will understand what definition it has. So to understand the definitions, we build header files and libraries, and which gives a lot of definitions over there, to which computer language or computer compiler can understand the meaning of variables. The variables is the greatest innovation of humans, so that you can understand and give a proper meaning to that any changeable value or any non-constant values. So let us take an example of integers, numbers like integers, which has a negative and positive numbers. So you can put any value and you can calculate it by doing mathematical operations, addition, multiplication, divisions, and all. So couple of things you should have to remind it. If you want to add any decimal points, you should have to use float. And if you want to add any larger value, you should have to use the double. So how does the computer stores the data? Like your brain, you don't know where it is getting actually store the data. But in the computer, everything is stored in the capacitor. That is nothing but charge or discharge cells. Charge means it is 1 and 0. That is called bit. 1 bit contains 1 charge. So every integer contains 4 bytes. Every byte contains 8 bits. So this is how we store the data into the computer. Next point, which is very important, instruction. I'm not going to put myself dive into the computer science at the initial, so that you can understand what are the common things through which you can use it. So computer has a mouth, computer has an ear also. Computer can listen you, but the way of communication is not a talking and listening. It's the way of communication is a writing and reading, means typing, and computer will understand the entire keywords and your code. Once computer can understand, it will execute according to the code output you will get. So this is how things actually. Let us do one simple program. So as I told you that the computer don't have a sense, we will give the mind to the computer from couple of years, means 100 years almost have been completed by developing the languages. Okay, so all the informations we always keep into the header file, so that computer can read and understand our meaning. So let us take hash include stdio. It is the standard header file for the C. So you will write the int main. Int main is a function, is a very initial function which gives a complete sense to you and to your computer, to where to initialize the program. Okay, so what is the ear of the computer? That is a scanf. What is the we can say what is the mouth of a computer, how a computer can speak to you, that is a printf. Let us, our computer speak something to you, that means you have to use header file, initialize the program, int main, header file, int main, and flower brackets or curly braces, which is not popularly. So the thing is that once you put there, inside suppose you're writing printf and double quotes. Double quotes is nothing but it can means it can hold the strings inside it. Whatever you write, that thing only it will print into the compiler, means after output you will get. Let us take an example of it. This is how suppose you're writing, you're getting. Now computer is able to speak. Computer got actually marked by building a keyword of printf. Now let us, our computer can listen something. What is a keyword? That is a scanf in C, especially in C we are talking about. So whatever you want to get any input value, you have to use scanf. So but before that you should have to hold some data to show something. So that is the thing, that is we can take an integer, int, and x would be the variable of it. You should have to take a space and you can take any letter over there which specify the memory, 4 byte of memory to the computer. You can store the integer value, that means minus or plus values. So let us say scanf. The percentile D is actually the type of integer it will display over there. Okay, so we will use the ampersand as address where you will hold this value. Okay, every system has a memory, so every memory has a lot of slots of memory cells, and every memory cell has its own address. So according to that address we will assign the value. It will store over there. Next, so if you want to print the same value, like you are typing your number 9121314xyz, means 1 2 3 4 any number you have like that, you just have to use percentile D. I have already told you, if you want to show integer you have to use the percentile D and write comma which separates the sentence, and after that you should have to write that variable name x. That x value actually gives the proper information to percentile D. What is the value of variable, and semicolon is very important to end up the line. Both the semicolon should have to be there, and then run the computer. Whatever you value enter, it will show that one only. That's how computer listens to you, speaks to you. Another thing, computer has an ability to do a lot of maths, like it can do basic arithmetic operations and scientific mathematical operations also. But today in these series we will see the very basic mathematical operations like addition, multiplication, division, and subtraction. The first stage we are just adding and subtracting few things because we are dealing with integer. After that we will see floats and doubles also. Now, suppose you took two integers and you have a scanf, and you take another scanf with another variable and try to add with another variable z equals to x plus y. So you enter the x value and you enter the y value, you are adding them and taking as like a math z equals to x plus y. What will be the value? It is very simple, and place percentile D comma z. That z value would be shown inside the output. That's how computer works, which is